everyone, and welcome. I'm Dorothy Dorton with AARP Alabama, and I am here with my fantastic colleague and wonderful friend, Kristen Moyo, who's also with AARP Alabama. Hey, Kristen, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Oh,
Valentine's Day, Dorothy. Thanks for letting me join you today.
wonderful. Well, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. So, folks, today, because it's Valentine's Day, it's all about love. We wanted to kind of go over some quick tips and resources just to help you protect yourself a little better from things like romance scams. So, we've all heard that sweet little poem, roses are red and violets are blue, right? But what if it ended like this? What if it went, roses are red, violets are blue? If this one is a scammer, then what do I do? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the red flags of online relationship scams and what you can do about it. So, just a quick note about AARP Alabama. AARP is the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering people 50 and older to choose how they live as they age. With a nationwide presence, AARP strengthens communities and advocates for what matters most to the more than 100 million Americans 50 plus and their families, health and financial security, and personal fulfillment. You can always learn more at aarp.org. All right, so let's get ourselves started. So, what exactly are we talking about when we say online relationship? Well, it doesn't always mean that it's a romantic relationship. It can be a platonic one as well. For many, it can be an intentional act to seek out um, loving relationships by meeting people through online dating apps or dating sites. Other people may just kind of find themselves in a relationship, whether that be romantic or a friendship, but they weren't necessarily looking for a love or companionship, but they just happen to have it or happen to find it online. But for our purposes today, we are going to be focusing on all types of online relationships where you never actually meet in person. So this could be on social media, it could be on online chats, game sites, or like I mentioned earlier, dating sites and apps. So now that we know kind of what we're talking about, how big is this problem? Should we really be talking about this? Is it really that big of a deal? Well, yes, it is a huge deal and it's growing. So in 2021, according to the FBI, 24,000 people reported being targeted by romance scams with a loss of over 1 billion. That's what they be, billion dollars. And then in 2023, 2 years later, the Federal Trade Commission reported that 64,000 people reported being victims, with the median loss per person of $2,000 each. That's higher than any other imposter scheme out there. And when I talk about other imposter scams, I'm talking about government imposters and business imposters. So this is a very large problem. One thing that we want to mention that I always find a little scary is that these are the ones that are reported. So many more do not go reported because people are ashamed. And what we want to tell you today is speak up, become the hero in your own story. Never feel ashamed or embarrassed if you become a victim. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the smartest of us. It has nothing to do with your intelligence. It has nothing to do with, you know, you've done something wrong. You haven't. This criminal, this scammer has. So we want to make sure that you know that you can change your story and you can become the hero instead of the victim. And by doing that, you can do that by reporting it, telling your story. Tell your story to others so they don't have the same fate. You can save them from that. And like I said, become the hero. All right. So with that, Miss Kristen, hello again. So
Hi.
you are going to be giving us some great tips on what to look for, and keep an eye out for. We always hear about that buzzword red flags, in a relationship. So when it's online, sometimes those red flags are a little harder to spot. So, can you give us some tips on what those red flags may be?
Absolutely. I'm going to give you some tips and some red flags and what to look for and some warning signs. So, first, if they want to move to another way of communicating, for example, you meet them on a dating app and they immediately want to connect using your personal phone number or email address. They want to move away from the public view. That is definitely a red flag. A second one is they profess their love too early on. This is called love bombing, where they shower you with loving words, begin talking about your future together, marriage, or moving in together, for instance. They're trying to make you feel like they are the one that you've been looking for. Next, they almost always claim to be from the US, but they are overseas because they're an officer in the military or a humanitarian or doctor providing health care to impoverished children. Of course, they want to visit you, but something always comes up. That's a red flag. Another one to be on the lookout for, and finally, is the ask. They have some kind of emergency or financial setback or need, so they ask you for money, usually in the form of gift cards, money orders, or even cryptocurrency. Any combination of these scenarios, friends, is a huge red flag, and you should immediately and definitely consider ending the relationship.
Thanks so much, Kristen. Those are some great tips and some great things to look out for.
Mhm.
So, we've entered into this online relationship, right? And now we're starting to see some of these red flags that Kristen just told us about. So now we're starting to suspect something, right? So, where do we go from here? So, here are some tips. If you suspect a scam, first and foremost, cut off all contact immediately. Just go ahead and stop communicating with them. Block them if you can so they can't communicate with you. Just, step away. Second, most search engines now, the internet search engines now, have an ability where you can do a reverse image search. So you can put their picture in the search and you can see if they're using someone else's profile picture. So what I would recommend is taking their profile picture and any other photos of themselves, quote unquote themselves, and do an online search and see if those pictures are really of them or of someone else. If it's a scammer, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be probably some kind of supermodel or something, that's in another country, right? So, that's obviously a big warning sign. And of course, like Kristen said before, never ever send any money in any form. Don't engage in investing with them. Don't send cryptocurrency or gift cards like Kristen mentioned. And of course, like we talked about, report it. Report it, report it, report it. Tell somebody. So here's the question. We say report it, report it, report it. So Kristen, how and where can we go to report these scammers?
Absolutely, Dorothy. I'm happy to share some information with you today. There are several ways for anyone to report a scam or fraud. So, first, local law enforcement is always a good place to start. If the relationship started on an app or social media platform, report the scammer's page to the site's security. The FBI scam reporting site is easy to remember: ic3.gov. That's the letters I and C and the number 3.gov. Of course, AARP's Fraud Watch Network is always available online or on the phone. You can go to aarp.org/Fraud Watch Network or call our helpline at 877-908-3360. We have many resources on preventing and reporting scams and fraudulent activity. So I would encourage you to visit that site and call the helpline if you need more assistance.
Sorry, friends, I was muted there. But thank you so much, Kristen. That was great information. And because that Fraud Watch Network hotline is so important, we have it scrolling down below our names. And I will also put it in the comments as well. And speaking of the comments, before we leave you today, I am going to put a link in the comment section for a survey. We want to know what you thought of this little video. We also want to know some other things that you'd like to see us do here in AARP Alabama and all over the nation. So please take a moment to fill that out for us. And we really appreciate you joining us today. We hope you got a lot of great tips from our talk today. And we truly do hope that you had a lovely Valentine's Day. And we are going to leave you again with some more information about the Fraud Watch Network and how you can get in touch with someone if you need to. So, Kristen, thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day to you. And happy Valentine's
Thank you
Day.
for having me.
Absolutely. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone else, too. Thanks, friends.